Hello and welcome to episode 9 of Football Manager 2021. My save with Newport County. We're currently in Division 1 and we're looking to remain in there and pull ourselves out of relegation. If you've been keeping up with the previous episodes, that's awesome. Try and keep up with them. If not, try and pick up from where we are, and I'll explain from what position we're in throughout the save and stream. Bit unfortunate for Newport County yesterday, losing 1-0 to Morecambe through a very shoddy penalty, and they didn't get promoted, which is such a shame. Newport County actually dominated the match, had an unfair call on a penalty, should have had a few penalties ourselves. However, it wasn't meant to be yesterday, and we walk away and we try to spend the next season or so working ridiculously hard, trying to win the title or trying to get an automatic playoff place, or third best, then we look to have a playoff place where we get into another playoff final at Wembley again. Unfortunate, that's our second one under Michael Flynn where we haven't been promoted. Couple of different things surrounding him now this morning, such as his consideration of the future and where the club's going to go. If he goes, will that be a change to the coaching team that's in charge now? What players will remain? What players are going to come in or come out? What manager are we going to look at? Does the last 4 years... the last 4 years does reflect stability at the club, having Michael Flynn in charge, former Newport County man, or a player I should say, county through and through, a Newport boy. He's got Wayne Hatswell as his assistant manager, has a very good relationship with him. James Holman, his first team goalkeeping coach. So, there's definitely considerations there and things for us to look at. As a fan point of view from Newport County, and a lot of speculation about the future and what's going to happen. So it's definitely going to be interesting what's going to happen in the seasons coming forward. But we wait and see now in the summer. Let Flynn have a bit of rest for a few days, maybe a handful of weeks. Allow him to digest what's happening at the club, have those conversations. Allow him to think over the prosperity of what's coming. And hopefully he can make the right decision for him. Unfortunate, I was hoping to start this off with a real positive... narrative in that sense by Newport County winning the playoffs, as I mentioned in the last episode. However, it wasn't meant to be, and now we can refer back to the game itself, where we're currently sat in a relegation place, and hopefully we can turn things around to remain in that league, and if not, potentially relegated, and we'll see whether the board decide to keep me in charge and give me the opportunity to get promoted again with the club, which I'm really looking forward to. So it's going to be a really interesting save. I'm hoping to cover the remaining amount of games within this episode, so great if you can keep along. Hopefully you can watch back on the previous episodes, which would be cool. If not, just pick up from where we are and leave a comment, subscribe or a like on my channel. As ever, I'm open to feedback and suggestions, always open to fan conversations, even around the game of football, so it'd be great if you could engage as we move forward. However, we're just going to move into this. We're in a pre-match question. John McGreal has been speaking very highly of your playing style recently. How does it feel to receive praise from your fellow professionals? So we're just going to respond. As we say that though, Sky Sports, Everton confirmed Carlo Ancelotti has left the club to return to Real Madrid as head coach. Amazing for Ancelotti leaving Everton. It was a long-term project for him. It meant a complete change in the coaching team, and having a very successful world-renowned manager as Ancelotti in charge, someone who's managed world-class players, someone who's bringing in such good players, the training style. There was a new stadium on the horizon, good sponsorship and commercial deals, continued development of players, especially under his philosophy long term, and potential of winning cups and qualifying for the Champions League, and this was a long term building job. However, Ancelotti's age, returning to Real Madrid, which he clearly loved, and was very unfortunate to be sacked first time round, which he shouldn't have been, especially following his success. He's going to return to manage one of the world's biggest clubs in Real Madrid, and hopefully get back to turning things round in his career by winning more cups and league titles, and trying to enjoy what he has for his career and build on the success that he has had. it's going to be interesting now who comes in to become Everton's new manager, which is going to be really interesting. There's a lot of managerial choices and options out there. I'm surprised that they're bringing Ancelotti back in that sense. I thought they would go for Antonio Conte, which if you ever play Foot Manager, Antonio Conte usually ends up in charge of Real Madrid, or Allegri, who usually ends up in charge either way, or they both do within any equal save. However, Allegri's now back at Juve, so it's going to be really interesting to see what he does, trying to get them back on track and winning the Serie A and their run within the Champions League. And it's going to be interesting for Ancelotti to get Real Madrid back on track to see whether they win the league and try and get them back on track in the Champions League. Questions over what's going to happen at Barcelona. Are they going to keep Ronald Koeman in charge? Are they going to give him the amount of time that he needs? Are they going to consider his future? Who else are they going to bring in? And that's whether they evaluate over the season and say, look, there's a new chairman in charge for your start of the season this time round. This is going to be your pot of money. These are the players that you would like or we would like. Let's sit down, let's discuss it. Let's give you at least a season and then let's evaluate at the end of the season. However, will Barcelona now react knowing that Carlo Ancelotti is in charge and the success that he brings? Only time can tell. I think now the biggest question remains, where will Antonio Conte go? Is there a question of where he's lining up to go in the future? Is he going to have some time out the rest? Or is there a job imminent for him and as to why he left Inter Milan? Or did he try and play his luck and trying to get himself in the frame for the Real Madrid job? Which, if it was so, it hasn't happened for him. Or is he going to evaluate the opportunities this year, whether Italy underperform and the potential sacking of Roberto Mancini, whether he can return to Italy? So the managerial merry-go-round continues, or on that prospect, after just reading that the CEO of Bayern Munich, who is an absolute legend, is now stepping down and handing the reins over to Oliver Kahn. Will he decide to bring in Antonio Conte into the Bundesliga? Which, if so, can Conte continue the success at the club which they're looking for? And can Oliver Kahn continue the maintained success of Bayern Munich? Obviously, he's been part of the board for a very long time now. He knows the club inside out. And if he's taken over as chairman, there's going to be increased pressure over the success of his predecessor, or whether he can continue to build on his legacy to do with Bayern Munich and say, look, this is manager I'm bringing in, and this is the success we're going to have. It's also going to be interesting to see what Jose Mourinho does at AS Roma, and I really hope he can bring success to them and certainly get back to winning ways. I think Antonio Conte leaving does open up the option of Jose winning the Serie A. It's such a shame because I think he's rushed in taking that job and wanting to get back into football, as to whether he could have returned to Inter Milan, which would have been interesting. So we're only going to continue to see what is happening moving forward. Obviously, we see Wolverhampton without a manager now, Everton without a manager, Crystal Palace without a manager, who were highly linked with Nuno Espirito Santos earlier today through Sky Sports. So it's going to be really interesting to see what's going to happen. But it's a really interesting season ahead for the Premier League. We've gone off on a bit of tangent there, but there's a bit of football talk and interest there. So let's hopefully hope that we can see an amazing season ahead, especially with the promotion of Brentford and Thomas Frank, who I've always been a fan of in the game of football. He was previously my assistant manager on a previous save, and I had a lot of time for him. So when you see him doing well in real life, it always gives that extra bit of bonus because of your relationship through Football Manager. So back to the game now. We're going to play Plymouth, who was 6 places above us in the league. But good thing for us, Matthew Craig, 19 years of age, has won the Sky Bet League 1 Goal of the Month. Not really much of an accolade. However, it is good that he has won an award and that we can take enjoyment from that in any little sense on the stature of our club, and try to enjoy that even though it's a small little accolade as such. Let's go back here before we move on. Yeah, former goalkeeping coach Pat Mountain, currently at Bristol City. Yeah. Okay, Lewis Collins had an amazing game yesterday. Lot of energy, lot of work rate, good skill. Running at the left back, the skills, taking him on, the confidence, trying to get the ball into the box. You know, it was really good performance from him yesterday. I was surprised when he was brought off. I thought they could have kept him on, and although he was running out of energy, I think he just had enough in the tank to have made the difference in the remaining minutes. However, it wasn't to be, and we can move on. There was something I was just going to quickly look at then. I think it was our, monthly financial update. Okay, we've had a loss of £263,000, which is going to absolutely impact us, especially with our available budgeting of only £30,000. I've mostly relied on loanees and youth players, as well as free signings that have come into the club this year. We still have £30,000 available. A lot of money in our sense, but not really to challenge in this league compared to some of the other clubs and the money that they have. So yeah, it's a little bit sad to only have £30,000, but we got to be realistic. And we have to use the players that are available to us. It's going to be really interesting now at the end of the season, whether the board keep me in charge for that stability and give me the opportunity to get promoted, what squad we're going to have, what players we're going to release, what players we're going to look to bring in, what kind of loans are we going to become reliant on. The affiliation with West Ham has ended, and now we're with a bigger club. I can't recall since the last episode, however, it is a bigger club, and we can possibly take on some bigger players, hopefully, who are no longer in and around the first team, want to get that game time, or we can get some high prospect youth players. However, we start the game off against Plymouth. Quite a positive start there down the right hand side, and shame we couldn't score. Plymouth are all over us at the minute. Save there by Tom King. They're still in possession, Plymouth. They're trying to work the line. They're trying to get wide and then work it into the box, it seems. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Couple of passes in, and they are now 1-0 up within the first 5 minutes. I think I've come to terms and accepted the fact that we are getting relegated this year. We have massively struggled. Yeah, we have a lot of young, energetic players. Yeah, we have a lot of experienced players in and around the squad. We don't have enough squad depth. We've got plenty of players available, of course. You know, if we have 3 or 4 injuries, can easily work around it. Plenty of players available. But I don't think we have enough depth in each position or the quality of depth. So even though we have depth, we don't have quality of depth. And when I speak about quality of depth, that's having players who are available. You know, players who, you know, can come on and make the difference, or, you know, if there's a player who started and he's one of the best players in the team, is the second best player on the bench, not someone who's about, you know, someone who, if you was to bring someone in, you know, who would come in to be the second best, and he's miles above the original second, third, fourth best we've already got in place, then that's not real quality. If there's a massive difference between someone we're bringing in and the existing second, third and fourth best players in that position. So that's about quality of depth and the kind of recruitment that we're going to have. And certainly the right signings, good. Is this allowed? Unfortunately, we are 2-0 down. And I think I've just come to terms with the fact that we're going to be relegated for this year, which is such a shame. Just making a little football note here about an idea I've just had. Always like to have a little notepad and make little ideas and jot things down. Good Dom Telford has scored through the assist of Will Swan. Perhaps we can get back into the game now and he can take some happiness and confidence away from that. Let's try and get the point here. Let's get the energy back in the side. A couple of players there. 3 players on a yellow. This does concern me. Okay. Let's get figures on for Forendorf. Let's get Collins off for Watson. And if we're looking at the right back, we're struggling for a bit of depth here. Matty Dolan can go centre back, so we're going to put him right back. Just have a quick swap with Scott Bennett. Then we're going to bring off Liam Shepherd for Jack Evans, Josh Sheehan, or Josh Labs. Whether we want to go with someone who's going to have the authority in midfield, someone who's going to have the pace and skill, or someone who can just change the game through a sheer pass. But we're going to go with Josh Sheehan and see whether these changes are going to make the difference and add the energy that we're looking for, and hopefully a second goal to try and gain a point. If not, a couple of goals. Oh, there we go. Josh Sheehan assisted by Dom Telford. Goal 2-2. Back in the game. Come on, Newport County. Okay, Matthew Craig has a gashed leg. Bringing him off isn't going to help us, as we could be overloaded down to 10 men. Watson, Courtney Watson, assisted by Matthew Craig, the player we were considering to take off. Great counter-attack from the corner. Well done, Newport County. 3-2 up. This is the energy that we're looking for. This is what Newport County are made of. 3-2 win. Can we get the 3 points in the bag, which we're looking for? And let's certainly hope so moving forward. 3-3. We've conceded in the 88th minute. This is such a shame for us. Such a shame. 5 minutes added time. Can we score a fourth? Come on, Newport County. If we don't score a fourth, I want us to maintain the 3-3 scoreline, which is currently here. We're under attack. Good by Demetrio. He had a solid game yesterday. I think we could have used him a bit more in build-up. Come on, last few seconds. Come on, ref. Whistle, 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 whistle. Come on, ref. 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 Thank you very much. Well, that was very, very tough. We'll be unfortunate not to have the 3 points. You know, they would have been very valuable having those extra 2 points. We come away with only 1. However, we can be very happy with that in the sense that we were 2-0 down and we came back to take the lead. Just unfortunate our leaky defence conceded again, and we only walk away with 1 point, which puts us 5 points behind MK Dons and 6 points behind Cambridge, who we're up against next, who are currently sat in 20th place, and we are 8 points behind Bolton, who are 3 places above us. If we can get 3 points against Cambridge, this will be a very important 3 points. It will halve the difference between where we're at and them in terms of how they're leading us on the points. It will be uplifting for us to gain the win, and it'd be very important for us to take away the 3 points as we move forward in our survival chances of League 2. So it's going to be interesting the way we move forward. So I can really hope that we can continue to build on what we're doing. Okay, Michael Jolly. He was manager at Barrow, manager at Grimsby. He's had quite a few experiences. He's on a Continental Pro license. So I'm going to add him to my staff shortlist indefinitely, because he could bring in that experience and knowledge to the first team, especially as myself as the first team manager. Okay, this is what we're looking for. Someone who's rated at 84, potential ability of 4 stars, current ability at 3, a goalkeeper. If we're looking at our... Oh, let's have a quick look who he's wanted by. He's wanted by Leicester, Premier League, of course. If they end up signing him, we haven't got a chance. Real Santander, Espanyol, and Leganes in Spain. He's only got 48 league games to his name. He's 24 years of age. Of course, he's going to be wanted more games as he moves forward. Let's have a quick look at his contract info, which is expiring this year in 3 months' time. So what we're going to do, we're going to add him as a transfer tag on the end of the contract, as we clearly can't afford him on a valuation of £79,000. Estimated cost of £21,000. Okay, could we save there and try and sign him at the end of his contract? We'll leave it for now. But if there's a club that does approach him by offering him a contract because of their availability in their transfer window or regulations, then we might pitch in with a bid of ourselves and try to sign a player beforehand. So let's get a scout report. Okay, let's make a comparison. That's what I was looking for. Let's compare him with our first team goalkeeper, Tom King. Tom King's valued at £170,000. His wages are less. He does have a year on his contract. He's 3 years older as well. Would be a quality signing, Alex Dominguez, or Dominguez, however you want to say it. Tom King has 3 stars, 2 pros, 2 cons for Alex, 5 pros, 1 con for Tom King. No season games here for Alex, 41 games here for Tom King. Unfortunately, he has conceded 72, which isn't great. If we have a look at it here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 areas here for Tom King in his favour, and 3 in favour of Alex. So Alex would be a very good second choice goalkeeper as Scott Carson is retiring, and I hope to keep him in the coaching team. Louis is still young, 19 years of age. Hoping to get him some more game time, but he's not a bad third choice goalkeeper. And we do have a couple of players out on loan at the moment, which could come in as sort of backups, but they're not really going to challenge for second place. I mean, if we can make a signing and our goalkeeper returns, then we're in a fine position where we have 1, 2, and 3. So we're in a good position where we can have 3 players. Okay, Lewis Twormley's contract does expire. Let's offer him a new contract. Okay, negotiate the contract length. He wants 3 years. I'm willing to offer you 2 years because you're quite a good backup and rotation. Sorry, Lewis, I'm going to have to stand firm. It's 2 years or nothing. Okay, we're just going to leave everything else as it is. We're not going to negotiate on his wage, as if we do get relegated, it's going to be good to have someone down on a 2-year deal who can come back into the squad as backup and rotation for us. Preston have invited me for a job interview. Now, I've turned down all other job interviews this year because I want to stay loyal to Newport County and see what happens and try and stay with them, because I've always had great saves with them. I mean, this isn't the greatest save I've had with Newport County compared to others. It's such a shame I didn't capture them back then in any way, because they were great and they were a little bit more successful than this. However, I've ended up leaving for obviously better jobs and worked my way through the game a little bit quicker. And I had some amazing saves. I just wish what I had with County that was really enjoyable I kept for longer. And that's the whole point of this save in this series. I want to continue longer with what I'm doing. So, you know, I've turned down all jobs for that sense this year. But 12th in the Championship, Preston North End come in for a offer me a opportunity to apply for the job. Well, sorry, to interview for the job. Okay, if we're looking at the club vision, develop players, they're satisfied, they're disappointed in the direct football. Well, I wouldn't be. Make the most of set pieces, they're devastated with that because we have done shite. Play counter-attacking, satisfied, defensive, solid football, we've been shite, so disappointed. Work within the wage budget, on course. They're not judging me on the minimum 2-year contracts for first team players. Okay, fabulous. Fight bravely against relegation, they're satisfied because that's what we have been doing. We reached the second round, we passed that. We failed in the second round of the Carabao Cup, and we failed in the Papa John's Trophy. We're on course to become an established Sky Bet League 1 team, even though we're on the brink of relegation. So yeah. Club culture. End of the 24-25 season. They're looking to sell the club, and that is going to be ongoing year after year after year, even though the club is fan owned in real life. There's 3 highlights, obviously, 3 disappointments. Steve Bright, okay, well, I didn't really think he was a fantastic player for us. If he goes on to be an amazing player, great, we've done our moral duty by allowing him to move on. If we haven't and we lose a great prospect, then that's just judgment and the way football is. Disappointed with the finances involved to sell Christopher Wharton. Again, another 17-year-old player. You know, he's only valued at 10k. Scout summary 37. He was our 9th best rated player. Potential ability 1.5 stars. Current ability half a star. So has potential to go up by a star. So I really wanted to, you know, try and give players the moral obligation to go and find success elsewhere, whilst freeing up the availability of the coaching team and availability within the club to have players come in and challenge. But where we are currently on C+, summarise the board that pleased with your management. Now, I wouldn't jump ship if it wasn't, because I would stay loyal till Newport County until the end, and I'm sure another job offer would come in. However, you know, they're fairly satisfied, and hopefully that they will allow me to stay in charge, as I keep mentioning. So, it's going to be really interesting to see where we're at the end of the season. Lots of games to go. Well, I say lots of games. There's lots of game time for us to try and compete, try and get the points in the bag, try and turn things around, remain in League One, and for us to try and turn things around by utilising our performances. Our tactic is very successful in League 2, not so successful in League 1. So if we can go back down to League 2, continue to develop the way we're playing and our tactics, create that stability, come back up and develop what we've done in League 1, as I continue to develop as a manager and remain loyal to Newport County, as well as develop the first team, then it's going to be really interesting. What's also going to be interesting is I'm going to decline the interview because, as I said, I want to stay loyal to Newport County. What's going to be really interesting is if we do sell the club, will there be big investments? What kind of investments will be made? What's the stability of the club? Are they going to keep me in charge, or are they going to bring someone else in? Are they going to judge me before they brought me in, or are they going to judge me from the moment they take over? So, you know, there's lots of interesting avenues in this save, and that's what I'm really looking forward to and want to continue exploring here within this series and Foot Manager stream with Newport County. So, you know, it's great for us to keep moving forward. Okay, why did you decline invitation of interview? Let's respond to this. Yeah, other than that, I'm in love with Newport County. I'm committed to the job. I want to stay here. I want to work as hard as possible. And I certainly want to try and move forward with Newport County. And hopefully, by declining this interview and coming out and saying I'm happy in my current job, I'll have the support of the players, fans, and certainly the board, because that's what I need in this moment of time, because I want to be the man that turns things round, and I want to remain in the managerial hot seat here at Newport County and can continue to develop what we are doing at Newport County. So we're now moving forward. We are going to play Cambridge, who are 20th. We're hosting, so we have the support of the home fans behind us, and we continue to work forward in the way that we're going to shape ourselves, whether we're going to be relegated or whether we're going to survive for the season ahead. Ethan Ampadu on course for a Wales call-up, 39 caps at 22 years of age. Currently in the Chelsea first team. Could be out on loan getting some more game time. However, it's great that he is getting that first team time in the Chelsea first team, and that he is in the Premier League with them. So it's great signing for Newport County. Max Thompson contracted to Burnley, rated at 74, attacking midfield right, left, striker, centre, midfield right, left as well. So we can play 5 positions. He's rated at 3.5 stars as a winger. He's 21 years of age, capped at under 19 level. He's English. He has 5 pros, 3 cons. Okay, we're going to get a further scout report, as the club don't want to sell apparently, but he would be a good signing for us. Only scouted at 52%, worth £400,000. Former Man United, former Everton player, been on loan at Swindon. He's only got 16 games to his name, so at 21 years of age, you're going to be worrying about that a little bit, and it's such a shame to only have that amount. Okay. Josh Allen, 18 years of age, no youth caps, no goals. As an advanced forward, he's only rated at 2 stars, valued at 31,000. So he is within our price range. However, he's estimated at costing 4 times the amount of his value at £120,000 minimum, which rises to 275,000. So almost £250,000. If we did look to bring him in, he would be our 7th best player. So for me, although he's a striker centre, hasn't had much game time, hasn't had much experience, any of the games that he has had here in the reserves non-competitive hasn't really been outstanding enough for me to look at. He's only rated at 2 stars, he's 7th best player, he's out of our price range, he's only got 3 areas which are in the yellow, which is what I'm going to be looking at first and foremost. So I'm not going to keep scouting him, and we can cancel his scouting exercises at the minute, or reports, and we can focus on other areas and players. Elliot Bonds, 21 years of age, 30 caps, 3 goals. He can play 4 different positions, which one he is looking to develop at, competent on the left-sided. He can play midfield centre. Okay, we don't have a full scouting report on him yet. He has played quite a few. He's played in quite a few different competitions this year, so he's been in and around the first team, it seems, as well as reserves. 15 games with 5 starts, 10 off the bench, 2 assists, okay, and an average rating of 6.79, so not too bad. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 areas ranked yellow, 1 area ranked green, 65. He would come in and be our 6th best player. He's currently on 2.5 stars, has potential to move to 3.5. Would be a good signing, valued at £175,000. The club don't want to sell, so that's a shame that they don't want to sell, and he is in League One. So we're going to continue scouting. His contract's up in a year's time. We can't afford him, so what we're going to do, we're going to add him to the shortlist for a year. And we're going to maintain our reports. We're going to keep an eye on him. And we're going to see whether we can get some more information and whether his situation changes at Hull, whether they're willing to loan him out, or whether he'll fail to continue to perform in the first team and they sell him or release him at a cheaper price. So we're going to keep an eye on him over the next year. Okay, moving forward now, our under-18s had a good win against Tamworth under-23s this afternoon. Lee Andrews, 17 years of age. He has absolutely been killing it for what he's been doing this year. Still has a lot of development with the under-18s, but what we're going to do, let's move him to the seniors. And available for his non-competitive, if he's played 51 games, 41 starts, 49 goals, 9 assists, 6 man of the matches, average rating 7.54. Our youth system is working, it is benefiting him really well. Let's give him some opportunity in the first team and raise his morale and belief. And let's get him that experience around these knowledgeable, experienced players, and let's get him off the bench a few times maybe towards the end of the season, and let's give him a taste for what he's looking for, which will give him that hunger if he does return to the under-18s. Tough schedule. We do have QPR, who are towards the top of the table. Swindon, Peterborough, Crewe, Bolton, Oxford and Forest Green. Not easy games, going to be very, very tough. So it's going to take a lot of tenacity from us from now until the end of the season. A lot of areas for us to try and conclude. And we will work and continue fighting valiantly until the end of the season. MK Dons 5 points above us, Exeter only a point behind, and Leyton Orient only 5 points behind. I don't want to finish bottom of the table. If we could finish 21st, 22nd, I'll be happy because they're not the bottom 2 places, and we did fight really hard. It's just a shame that we're not getting enough points, and we've had some silly results this year where We've had losses that should have been draws that should have been wins. And if this was the case, we would have had more points and the season would have been different for us. So opposition scouting, control possession. They like to retain possession, pressing high, win the ball back, play out of defence, create chances through patient short passing, build up play. Okay, defensive, they're impenetrable. Okay. Looking at the data, there is opportunity for us to break down their defense and for us to try and score a few goals here. They seem to be clinical in their passing as such, not so wasteful at times as I would say we are. They're more interesting, yes. Not too much data to go off, not too much to look into. If we look at the full opposition report, 4-4-2, let's look at their strengths and weaknesses. Goalkeepers that are adept at kicking the ball long. Okay, 9 of a total of 18 assists in the last 20 have come from crosses. Okay, so that means that our man Kyle there can deal with it at the back. They like the press. General possess high level of vision and creativity. Good standard of handling from the goalkeepers. Okay. Low level eccentricity overall from the goalkeepers. Daniel Johnson, good right back, good left back, good centre back. Okay, you have 3 very good defenders there that have been rated by our scouts. Strong communicators, so they're very organised at the back. Good unit play. 3 kicks. Okay, very capable. 7 of 22 goals have been scored in the final 15. Okay. Weaknesses, questions about their marking. Okay, they tend to lack good tackling, which does work for us. We could get Josh Labadie on the pitch. Questions over their anticipation. Okay, so they're not quick reacting, so it might be good to get Josh Sheehan on there. Some players are guilty of making poor decisions, so we want players who can react quick and pick off what they're doing. So whether we're looking at Dom Telford, Will Swan potentially, there aren't enough players who have a first touch of sufficient quality right now. Okay, so again, if their first touch isn't great and they're guilty of making poor decisions and it doesn't work well with their anticipation and they're not good at tackling, they're not good at winning the ball back, and they're not good enough at playing the ball quickly from what it seems. So it looks like we can put a lot of pressure on them and press them ourselves and try and get onto them as soon as they receive the ball, and try and gain possession back as quickly as possible. Overall technique, there's questions about it. Isn't the best goalkeepers in terms of rushing out. Okay, so we need to make sure we either try to play along the box, or we try to go around the goalkeeper, or we try to hit our shots in a position where we're going to test that goalkeeper. Because if they're not going to rush out, they're going to stay on their line and we take shots that are far out, they're going to set themselves up. If they're not rushing out, it could work in our favour with a one-on-one potentially and breaking away counter-attack. Acceleration is not one of the team's better collective attributes, okay? So that might work in the favour of our defence and how we counter-attack them and break away. Stamina isn't a collective. Again, that works in our favour. Not much pace either. Questions about concentration. A lot of psychological pillars here, which I'm looking at. A lot which we can certainly challenge them on and continue to work hard. 12 of the 28 assists. 12 of the 28 assists conceded. Last 20 have come just from outside the area. Paul Mullins has an average rating of 6.74. Okay, enough to rank him in the 271st amongst all players in the league. I love the detail of this game. Squad comparison. Okay, average age, we're slightly older. Height, we're level at. Weight, we're level at, which is good. Average international caps, we've got less. Average international youth app, so our youth academy, there's more opportunity there for players, which is really, really good. Our wage is a little bit higher than theirs. Our average player value is higher than theirs. They have 2 unavailable players overall. Okay, so things are in our favour there, it would seem. Okay, let's go back here. Okay, good. There's potential here. We can certainly try and get the 3 points as much as possible, and for us to continue building on what we're doing. So let's try and hope we can come away with the 3 points. It'd be really important too, and I really hope that we can. Okay, team selection advice here. Okay, we're just going to use these the suggested squad from Wayne Hatswell, the assistant manager. So we're going to, perhaps have some different instructions in the way we line up. Okay, let's be hopeful. Let's try and turn things around. Let's try and be successful in what we're doing. So come on, Newport County. Let's try and get the 3 points in the bag. Okay, Vincent Kompany is unhappy. He's in charge of Wolverhampton at the minute. I think there's potential there for Kompany to develop as a manager. Obviously, he needs that guidance and time. I think he's rushed into it a little bit too quickly. So I wish him the best of luck, as it would be great to see. Lewis Twamley, or Twamley, however you want to pronounce it, has just signed a 2-year contract extension, which is great for us. Okay, let's do it. Okay, they've gone for a 4-4-2. We're going for a 4-2-2-2, or 4-4-2 in whatever way you see it, or a 4-2-4. Whatever way you look at it, you can analyse this. Analyze the lineup in whatever way you believe it to be. However, we're going in a 4-2-4 in that sense, because we're going to have more of an offence in the 4 at the front, using the 2 wingers and the 2 strikers. We could use those 2 wingers to drop back into midfield. Suddenly then we have a compact midfield 4 moving into a 4-4-2. Or if we keep them really wide and we're using our 2 players, 24 and 10, which is Josh Sheehan and Jack Evans, they could hold and play off on to 7 and 6 for the wingers. They could be 2 which are out wide, who could cut inside from time to time to support the attack and offence, which could end up in a 4-2-2, 4-2-2-2. But we're going in a 4-2-4, allowing the 2 wingers to be part of the attacking offence, which is what we're looking for. So we're going to move forward here. Lee Andrews is in reserves. Let's get him on the bench for... Let's get him on the bench for Ryan Viggers. It's always good to have that young lad on the bench, and he may be able to come off the bench and have that energy which we're looking for, and especially if he has that hunger to go. Having that energy to come off the bench with that hunger could be the game changer for us, which we're looking for. So we're now hosting Cambridge, so let's try and get the 3 points in the bag. Suggested squad from Wayne Hatswell, gone off the opposition report. We're maintaining the standards in terms of the way that we're playing, and we're now going to look to move forward by getting hopefully 3 points at home today. We've lined up a squad which is very challenging against a Cambridge squad. I believe there's 3 points that could be picked up here, especially with our squad and energy that we have picked. Okay, Vincent Kompany is unhappy with Forendorf playing in that position. I think if I was a Wolverhampton manager or a first team manager in that sense, and I had a player out on loan and he was in and around the first team and he was getting league football, well done, good. We're 1-0 up. Liam Shepherd into Dom Telford there, 1-0. Very happy and pleased with that. Although he wouldn't be developing in the position which I'd perhaps be looking for, he is getting that game time. He is improving his fitness. He is being adaptable to a different position. He's learning the different role and responsibilities which he could apply to the position which he's looking for. He's meeting the need of the club which he's gone out on loan to. He's fitting in part of the squad, and I don't think I'd have too many questions over it in that sense, because I know that he could return to us and he could develop in that position that we're looking for, or loan him out again in a specific position which we would loan him out on the loan agreement for, which could be frustrating if we didn't have the time available, or we weren't willing to give much more time. But if he isn't coming back into the first team anytime soon, then I'd be happy with him going out on loan and having that game time. That's why I'm very happy for my loan players to be utilised in whatever positions they need, despite reports from the chief scout, etc. Because I'm very, very happy that they're getting the game time, which is the most important thing. In that sense, I do get updates from the chief scout, I believe. As a loan manager, I think the game should utilise the loan manager role even further. This is a role that does exist in real-time football, and although they've applied it this year, Foot Manager, which is amazing, I just wish they would utilise that a little bit more. I also wish, I haven't explored this game enough yet at the moment, still getting into 2021, even though it's been out for a considerable amount of time, and 2022 is soon to be released on the horizon, as we always know, around November time, which is only 5 months, and I'm hoping to get a number of episodes in here. Okay, good. To now, just responding to a message there. In the world of football myself, is constantly non-stop in that sense. We're 2-0 up here, which is fantastic. I forgot the point which I was on about before that. Excuse myself there. Very non-stop in the world of football. I will have to pause this recording and stream and hopefully return back to it in an hour and a half's time, as I do have a webinar to attend, which is going to continue the learning around football, which I'm looking forward to. But very pleased that we're 2-0 up against Cambridge United, which is very fulfilling, and I'm very pleased that we are 2-0 up, which is very good. Okay, moving forward, the minutes are ticking on. Okay, Matty Dolan not doing too well at centre-back there, also on a yellow card. Let's get Hawkins on, or Hawkins. 6.7. Okay, he's playing okay. Scott Bennett, unless we concede now, which I hope we don't. Let's get Demetrio on. Let's get some energy at the centre-backs and stay organised between those two men. Let's get Furendorf off. Let's get our young lad, Lee Andrews, there. He is an attacking midfield right. Dom Telford is right or left. Let's swap them over on the wings. And let's get him a bit of game time. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 out on the right side. Played it in. 1 goal back for Cambridge, which is a shame we couldn't keep the clean sheet and the goal difference. Okay, yeah, let's mark him tighter. Oh, he's got a shot off. The energy has really picked up from Cambridge. Of course, they want to get a goal and get the point and draw, which is really important for them. We don't want them to. We certainly want to win this game 2-1. Come on, Newport County. Okay, come on, let's get the 3 points. Yes! 3 points in the bag, which is 4 out of 6 points in the last 2 games. We're looking inspired. We're looking motivated. Okay, that was brilliant. Sky Bet. Newport County edge out opponents in close encounter. We have 13 shots to their 17. We have majority of possession. Our man of the match was Tom King. He has certainly been Mr. Reliable at times. Yes, he has conceded a number of goals, but you can only do what, perform from what's in front of you. It's great to have him playing so many games. It's great to have him in the first team. We play away to QPR, who are first in the league. We're still 3 points behind Cambridge. We've helped MK Dons out. Cambridge have dropped into relegation. We're 5 points behind MK Dons. We're still chasing. We're still working. The hope is still on. 7 games to go. Come on, Newport County. This is going to be a very tough moment indeed. I'm just going to pause it there. I'm going to return to this recording and stream hopefully within an hour, hour and a half, because I have a web now to attend. So I'm looking forward to returning this, getting this episode together, and hopefully we can conclude the last 7 games and where we're at, ready for another episode, which is going to be episode 10 of the series, and we're going to continue to build on what we're doing, which I'm really looking forward to. So hopefully see you guys back in an hour, hour and a half, and we can continue building as we move forward. Okay, yep, that can go. Bit of storage there from where we're recording this, and we're waiting for a SSD to come in and continue building on that setup. But anyway, there we're at, and we'll see you in an hour, hour and a half. Thank you very much, Red Tonto 13. Okay, and welcome back to my episode and stream for episode 9 of Foot Manager 2021 with Newport County. Just had to take a small break there to attend the coaching webinar. However, I've now returned back to the stream, and I'm looking forward to finishing off this episode. And you can catch me on YouTube, Twitter and Twitch at Red Tonto 13. And I look to have a weekly stream. At the moment, not a consistent time frame. However, I will be looking for a usual Saturday afternoon slot, my most free available time at the moment, to start streaming, and if not, a Friday night now going forward. I'm very much looking forward to where this stream is going to go, as I consistently continue to say in all the previous episodes. So I hope you've been watching, I hope you've been enjoying, and I hope you've been following along. I also hope that you continue to enjoy the content that I am posting, and I hope to develop it further as time moves forward. So I thank you very much for those who have been watching and have been engaging. I hope that this further kicks off the ground and you enjoy it. And if you have any feedback, as always, I am open to it. However, this is where we're at the current episode. We're now away to QPR, who are top of the table. We're looking for points as much as possible. We picked up 4 out of 6 in the last 2 games. And that's exactly what I'm looking for. We need to continue picking up points as much as possible. And the more points that we have, the better. Because we certainly need to try and turn things round sooner than later, which is one of the most important things, as we certainly want to stay up in the league, and we certainly want to become a recognised League One club. So we're just going to move forward here now. We have Don Telford, who we're just viewing this year. He has the most consistent period of his career. He's picked up plenty of games since moving to Newport County, so you can be very happy with the amount of game time he is getting at the moment. He's getting goals, he's getting assists. He's not getting that many man of the matches, so he has a lot to do to continue to improve his performances. However, he can be happy with the consistent run that he is getting in Newport County, and look to try to maximise his time here to get the amount of games as each year ticks on in his career. If he could score a few more goals for us, that would be beneficial, as we certainly need as many goals as possible, and we need to turn things round sooner rather than later. The more points, the better, obviously, for us. That we're certainly running out the amount of game time that we have remaining, and we certainly need to pick up the points sooner rather than later. And we need to really maximize the last few games, really go for it, really try and push ourselves, and really try to score as many goals whilst trying to improve our defence. We know that QPR is going to be a very tough game. QPR always provide a tough game in the sense of every time we've played them. They're top of the table, so they're on form, especially towards the end of the season. So if we have a quick look at the league table, they're only 2 points clear of Blackpool. They're undefeated in their last 5. They're obviously going to be in those playoff positions or automatic playoff positions. which they got a little bit of work to do to remain in them, and they've got a lot of work to do to win the league title. However, they are in a prime position to finish in a automatic or playoff place if they concede the running of the title. Obviously, Blackpool will be hoping that they'll slip up. We can provide a lending hand, and then Blackpool can capitalise by taking top of the table. However, in our situation, I don't think we're going to take full 3 points off QPR. If we do, we'll be very, very lucky, and it'll be an excellent 3 points to take away from them, which I really hope we do. Lewis Collins out for 2 days. That's okay. Hopefully, he might be on the bench. However, I hope it'd be amazing to get all 3 points. I just really hope that we do get a point. 7 points in the last. So if we pick up 7 out of. Sorry, where am I at now? Sorry, 4. Yeah, if we pick up 7 out of the last 9 points from 9 games, that would be amazing. If we don't, then picking up 5 out of 9 isn't too bad either. Just have a quick look at Femi Aziz, which has been recommended, 21 years of age as a winger, overall rating of 63, which in comparison is, well, his overall rating isn't great. However, if we look at the comparison of the squad players we have available, he comes as 3rd best recommended with his potential. So yeah, he is pitched above Lewis Collins at the meantime. He's behind Forendorf, who is currently on loan and may not be returning for the season after. So, we're going to keep looking at this lad. We're going to add as a transfer tag for the end of the season, because even if we do bring him in on a 1-year contract, there's potential for him to develop. And then if he doesn't, then we can just release him, and hopefully he won't cost too much. But let's put a contract out there. Let's consider our situation. And then if we find better players and look at him more in depth, then we can always pull out of the contract or always reject the final sign-off. Ademi Mipo Odubeko. So Odubeko. Sound like, as always, my pronunciation of names isn't always the greatest. I sound like Paul Merson. If you tell me how to pronounce it, I'll do it to the best of my ability. He's 20 years of age, 10 caps, 5 under 21 goals. He's a breakthrough prospect valued at 42k. They don't want to sell him. Stoke City's valued at 67, which would put him in the 3rd in squad comparison as an advanced forward, behind Will Swan and Dom Telford. Ahead of Forendorf, he would be a good signing. A former Manchester United man. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 areas with a yellow rating. Has work to do on improving his crosses. Okay, that can come with time. Can only play in one position. Again, that can come in time. Currently lacks game intelligence. Obviously, that can come with time. Not fitting easily into a social group. Okay. Again, that's something that can be developed over time by being within the right group, having the right coaching, having the right nurture, the right mentoring. Yeah, so there's plenty of potential that this lad has. Certainly a lot that we can look at. It'd be great to try and take him on loan. So let's add him as a transfer target for end of contract. That would be really useful to us. Mackenzie Lamb, 19 years of age, capped at under 19, defensive centre, defensive midfielder, rated at 72, which, if we look at the squad comparison of that position, would put him at the best in the squad. Valued at 1.1 to 2.5 mil, which is well above our price of range or available opportunity. His contract's up in a year's time. Let's just add him to a short list, because we may be able to take him on loan at the end of the season. So that's definitely something that we're going to consider, or I'm going to consider. Saxon Early, no youth caps, no goals. Contract ends at the end of this year. Would be a good sign-in, valued at 8.5k within our budget. Estimated cost is higher than our budget available, £825 per week. So his contract is running out, and he does have potential there to develop and not going to cost us much. So we can consider this. If we look at 72 overall rating, he'd become the 7th best player in the squad. Obviously behind a lot of our other players, Scott Bennett, Matthew Craig, and a few others higher up on that list. Every time I go on it, it seems to disappear. That's such a shame. Yeah. Several areas. Okay, I'm going to request a further scout report and hopefully get more depth. Oter, however you want to pronounce his name, 66 overall rating. He would be third best behind Telford and Swan. It's going to be very difficult to beat those players. He seems to have performed quite well at non-competitive, so he hasn't had a consistent amount of runs in the first team. It seems the best he had was with Colchester in League 2. If we go down, it wouldn't be too bad to consider having him brought in. His contract is up in a year's time. He's not too far from us being at Bristol, so I'm going to have him do a short list for 1 year. He's 24. He's not played in the first team for 2 years, for a year. It seems as if he signed from QPR to Bristol this year. He hasn't yet played too many games, even in reserves for Bristol. Not a lot of a run for him in his career, and obviously it'd be great if Bristol could loan him out, simply because he is getting on a little bit, and getting that game time would be very important for him. We also have Courtney Senior, 25 years of age, valued at 19k. More scouting required. His contract is ending this year. Estimated cost between 4.8 to 11.25, very much within our price range. 82 rated, which would put him third behind Forendorf and Telford, on the left wing, attacking left wing, inverted winger. If we have a quick look, long career, only 162 games, not really been involved in Krug's first team too much this year. It seems as if they've taken him on a 1 year contract, and they're going to release him after not performing. Maybe a 1 year contract from us, especially if we go down to League 2, and having those options available when attacking further on. I could look into more detail analysis, his attributes, his scoring. However, I just want to put him on Tony Adams' list. Tony Adams can look then to offer a load of contracts at the end of the year. We can be in a prime position whether we reject them or not. At the end of the day, these players could have other opportunities where they could sign for other clubs. Ideally, we'd want to sign them down on a 1 year contract with a 1 year contract extension. If they don't perform within 1 year, perhaps if we got a budget, we can release them. If not, we can let them play in reserves and then cancel their contract at the end of the season, or let them see it through. And we really haven't lost much in terms of only losing wages in that time. Sometimes you do have to take the punt on players, certainly of Harry Redknapp trait. But you never know when it's going to pay off. You might get a good player. This is something that County does in real life. They get players in on free, they get players in on loan, they take chances on players with very little league games or experience. They give opportunities, they have a number of players available in and around the first team, and we certainly have 6 or 7 attacking players which we have looked at throughout the entire season at Newport County in real life. So this is definitely a county thing. Obviously it's needed with the stature and availability of resources and certainly funds at Newport County at this moment in time, and the model is working. It is highly frustrating. It means a high turnover of players each year, changing within the dynamics and the squad, coaching the players in the tactical elements that's needed, so the core squad is required to nurture and bleed these players in. Developing relationships year in, year out between other clubs, managers, directors of footballs, boards. The cost in getting players in on loan, if there is any, sometimes that affiliation fee, or there's a fee involved for taking them on, or sometimes there'll be a free loan opportunity depending on a requirement of wages that needs to be paid, etc. However, this is what County rely on, and sometimes it pays off, sometimes it doesn't. And at the end of the day, County can cancel these contracts, or the club can recall them, or these players just return to their parent clubs, and County can maintain that relationship with them and say, look, he didn't break into our first team, thank you very much, wish him the best of luck, and then hopefully County can take on another player in the future. Sometimes clubs can become increasingly frustrated with the lack of game time for players in the first team, as that's what they're loaned out for, and they could do so, especially if a number of players are loaned over a number of years, and the lack of game time and opportunities that have been restricted. However, I do believe that clubs are understanding of this, as long as there's a relationship and that transparency while signing a loan agreement. Because there is that risk, and they need to be given that game time. And sometimes there's not enough clubs that come in for the player, or getting a bit of first team football is better than sitting around in reserves all year. Or the club may look at the player within the first team, the parent club, say, look, he didn't get a good run, come back in the reserves. They may evaluate him and then say, look, come into our first team, get that run, and you can develop into something. So sometimes it may work either way. I just think it's whatever each club needs, and certainly on what the manager's expectations are, as well as agreements. Gone off on one there a little bit, just in terms of transfers and real life dealings, etc. Just moving forward here a little bit in this game. Hopefully the game continues to flow in the same sense that it has been going. Haven't really looked at too much detail into the game as much at the moment. Just want to get the game flowing and moving forward. Forendorf hasn't done well. Well, Swan hasn't done well. And who else hasn't done well? Well, Watson hasn't either. Nor has Dom Telford, nor has Matty Dolan, all between 6.5 and under. We're going to make 3 attacking changes, get the energy up front. You never know, you might score, and get these players a bit of game time in the process as well. Here we go, good saves there by Tom King. Let's hope we keep dealing with it at the back, and our experience and leadership works through, as well as our roles and responsibilities in terms of what we're looking for. Let's hope we can get the 90 minutes and we can be very happy with the result of 0-0, and certainly a draw, a point in the bag. As soon as I say that, QPR have broken away and they have scored. Well done for QPR on playing out from the back very quickly, and a quick reactions from the goalkeeper, as well as decision making, and the fact that the striker's used his acceleration. He's broke away, he's got his shot off. There we go. QPR, thank you very much. 2-0, very happy, taking this game, doing what they're doing well. Doing what they're doing very well at this year, by just getting games done and dusted, putting 3 points in the bag, and thank you very much, shut up shop. Another loss for us this year, another 3 points drop, no points picked up. It's increasingly, I think there's 6 games after this, so it's increasingly likely that we're going to be relegated, and I think we've known that for a period of time. And there's some games we've given up hope in, and we've just rolled over kind of things, or we've just haven't really worked, haven't really shown what we've got. We were 0-0 there for 62 minutes. We could have been very happy with that, and then suddenly we have very bad defending at the back. QPR break away from very quick decision making from the goalkeeper. Suddenly they go from a defensive outlook where we were on the attack to an offensive outlook, and their striker has made it 1-0. Then they killed off the game, making it 2-0, so they can be very happy. 2 goals scored, 2 more goals on the goal difference, a clean sheet, 3 points at home, securing their position at top of the table. They can be very, very happy. Well, Swan is struggling at the moment, not scoring enough goals for us. He is one of our consistent and strongest performers. This is the most goals he's ever scored in a single league season. The most assists, most man of the matches. He's not been at his highest rating. However, we will consider that this is the most games he's played in a single season. Let's just check that, 45. So 42. So he's not played the most games yet. How many starts did he have? He had 40, 41. So this is the most starts he has had. This is the most goals. And certainly after following a season of being in and around the first team and in the championship, not getting that much game time, we can be very happy with the way he's turned things around. But we also have to understand that we have generally been struggling this year as well. A no-nonsense centre-back, Cameron Evans. We are struggling at the back. We could do with players. He is Welsh. He is from Swansea. He hasn't had too much of a good run with Yeovil this year. He only has 10 games to his name, so there's a lot of areas to develop. 13 under 21 caps, valued at £325,000. Contract is up at the end of the season, so we're going to add him. His contract is up. It's showing there, obviously, his contract is up at the end of the season for his loan, not his actual Swansea contract. So we're just going to remove him as transfer target. Yes, but we are going to keep him on the short list because we may take him on loan from Swansea, because we could do with a new centre back, and having a Welsh lad who can break in to the potentially break into the Wales first team and have opportunities would be great for us, and it would be great for our continued partnership working with Swansea City. Just a little football notification come through then, and then end up losing my mind into the reading of it as per the way the football world goes. Quick top up of a drink in the process here as well. So just quick look at Ryan Hillier whilst we're on the loading screen and adding to a bit of drink here. Ryan Hillier, 20 years of age, Welsh, not done too badly for us, not great. Done amazingly down in reserves. He's come on only 16 times. Come off the bench for every one of his performances for us. Only one goal. He's been rotated in and out of the squad last year. Perhaps a National League is more suited to his level. He does have potential though. He is still 20. If we go down, we may see a difference in the player that we're looking at. Surplus requirements, Josh McEachran, you know, he became an amazing player once for me on Foot Manager for Chelsea. And it's just such a shame his career never really got off the ground, and certainly here in Foot Manager, and certainly whilst we came up here and for Newport County, and I signed him because I believed in him and I always had a bit of time for him, but it just hasn't worked out, and he hasn't really been that much difference or really provided the best platform that we needed, and it's such a shame. But I'd be very happy to actually meet him, having had respect and wished him the best of luck as a young player. I just wish he went on to achieve more. Unfortunately he hasn't, and he hasn't achieved what we needed here at Newport County. So we will allow him to leave at the end of the season on a free transfer. Hopefully he can find his own club or find the right move for him, and he can certainly enjoy the last few years of his career hopefully somewhere and just get a bit of a consistent run and just try to make the most of what's left of his career. We do have 21 years of age Austrian Pascal Juan Estrada. Okay, so just having a quick look at Pascal Juan Estrada, currently on loan at Aldershot in the National League, where he was with Crawley last year. He's having a very good season with them, with 38 games, 38 38 starts. He's only had the 1 goal, he's got 3 assists, he's had 1 player of the match or man of the match. Average rating 6.91 isn't the greatest. However, the most games he's had in a single season, the most league games, the most starts. He's certainly developing. You know, he's 21 years of age. He still has potential. You know, if we give it, unlucky, but plenty of games, plenty of days till the game. I think if he's given more loan opportunity and more playing time, and he's given the right coaching, he's certainly going to have a lot of opportunity to continue developing. So best of luck to the lad. And we can be supportive of that. We may look to bring him in and around the squad next year. We may look to loan him out. Rio Campbell, valued at £18,000, contract to 2025, rated at 71, 20 years of age, from Swansea. He would be the 3rd best rated player as an inverted winger. Suitability as playing as an attacking midfield left. He would be the 3rd behind Telford and Forendorf. Forendorf is on loan, so we would take him to 2nd. He's never played a single league game in his career, so there is potential there for us to bring him in. Chibai, 19 years of age, 6 caps for Zambia, valued at 42k, contract till 2024, rated at 72, again behind Forendorf and Telford. Yeah, he's been in League 2, so he may do a little job for us if we were to get relegated. We will continue to scout him. Macmillan, yeah, okay, we'll continue to scout him. Finishes scouting Dave Waters. He currently plays over in Ireland. Shamrock Rovers to Sligo Rovers, or Sligo Rovers. Definitely, you know, if you want to correct me on that pronunciation, feel free. I'm no expert in name pronunciation at times. Defender centre, 17 years of age, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 areas. In the yellow, balance, jumping reach. Aggression, good. Bravery, yeah, good. If he was a centre back, I'd expect more composure, anticipation, concentration, decision making, and determination, as well as leadership. Positioning, I'd expect a real good attribute scoring for positioning, certainly hitting the yellows a little bit more. Decision making, composure, positioning, and his tackling, marking, heading, they're all these, aside from obviously his dribbling, his finishing, his first touch, little things we can just, you know, first touch is very, very important, but we can park that, and we can park, you know, long shots and throws, you know, his type of passing we can work on. But if he was demonstrating the key areas such as heading, marking, tackling, positioning, decision making, for me should be highlighted here. Bravery, because he is a centre back. If you make the wrong decision as a centre back and you try to play the ball into the midfield third, but the midfield third or the centre mid receiving the ball is pressed and he loses it, suddenly the attack is on and they hit the wing, then they play across the box and they score. That's poor decision making. Whereas if he sees that the midfield is being overloaded or pressed, then he's may look for the long ball as whatever the tactic is. So the tactic may be build up play, but if it doesn't work and his decision making is right, that's not going to work. It might cost me a year. I gotta be quick in this. Right, I'm going to hit a long ball into the channel, and we might be under less pressure because we're moving the ball out of a danger zone, out of a danger area. And we're going to try and hit the channel and look to play forward rather than receiving the ball at the back or being under pressure at the back. So, you know, for me, decision making, regardless, should always be highlighted for every player. Unless you could have the right technical ability, but unless your decision making isn't there, then you're really going to struggle as a player because you need that game understanding. You need to know when to release the ball, when to run with the ball, when to beat a player, when to have build-up play, when to 1-2s. You know, that decision making, right, am I going to take a shot here or am I going to cross the ball? What am I going to do before I receive the ball? What's my next move after I pass the ball? What's my link-up play going to be like? for me, decision making is so key. Even when we look at a player like Lennon Peak here, attacking right midfield left from Tranmere, 20 years of age. Decision making not really highlighted yet. We got it in bold here because he's scoring higher than his other areas like bravery. But it should be highlighted in this colour, which we're looking for. Yeah, we've looked at passing shit. It's only rated at 6. His technique is only 8 to 13. He is rated at 73. He would be the third best. He's better than Courtney Watson, which we currently have in the squad. He's valued at 3.5k. We may get him for 20, dependent. He is playing in Sky Bet League 2, which would be good for the league we need. There's plenty of opportunity for us to develop him. He's only hit a rating of 6.2, but he's only had 1 start, which was in the trophy. Every other game's been non-competitive, and he hasn't done too badly. You know, the scouts say there's potential there. He has come from a Premier League side academy, such as West Ham. He's from London, so we would have had a bit of street smarts around him. By the way, he seems to come from the youth academy. So there is potential there in the player, and that's all the wider area I would consider if I was talent IDing the boy. I just think right now, in terms of the player that we're looking at and what we need to do to suit our need in terms of our recruitment, you can talent ID someone, but then when you're actually looking at the recruitment side of it, who you're going to bring in now and why, then we certainly have to look at the player and be like, right, you're not going to suit us right here, right now, but we're going to keep an eye on you. We're going to keep scouting you. We're going to keep that talent ID tab on you. Man, scouting, football, coaching, and anything can be adaptable to the way you need it. You know, some people may say recruitment is this, and they define it, and talent ID is exactly the same thing. It's just a much more luxurious, modern way of saying recruitment. We're talent IDing that boy. Well, you're not recruiting him, you're IDing him, and that's what some people may say. I certainly know people who have said it. And it's all down to what you determine it as. There's no set thing. Coaching isn't this defined art. Some people may say, right, this is what a coach does. Well, yeah, okay, you may have 10 responsibilities. Or you may say, right, there's the 10 key commandments of being a coach. But then there's probably like 100 commandments you've actually missed. Or 100 different principles. Or 100 different characteristics. So actually you could have 450 commandments, because that's what a coach does. There's so much which a coach does which people don't realise. There's so much more. You know, you could take any job and compare it to it, and you could say, right, this person only does that and that. And you could be ridiculing the job at some point. You could be criticising it. And yeah, you're allowed to, and yeah, you're free. And you can make comparisons. And there are, you may have someone, for example, not to belittle them, but you could have someone who works on a till and they just want to get their job done. They may not have the best communication. They may not have the best problem solving. They may not have the best transparency in the way that they work. They may be quite closed. And you can find coaches like that who've got all those attributes which they lack. But if I'm looking at someone on the basic cause of the way they perform, they come in, they do their job, they're ready to get on with it, clock out, off they go. And there are coaches like that. But if we're looking at someone who is performing in that way and they're not really impacting someone's lives, or they're not looking for a purpose, or they're not planning a coaching program, or they're not looking at outcomes, so they're not trying to affect other people, they're trying to affect themselves by completing their work. Whereas as a coach, you're trying to affect players and people around you like the other coaches, but you're also affecting the way you deliver. You're affecting the way you coach by evaluating the way you just coached that one session. You're continuously adapting and growing as the game does. So there's, not to belittle anyone, but there's so much more in those commandments, because sometimes people may go, right, this is just my job. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And some coaches might say the same thing, but there's so much more, because you are communicating with players. You are trying to, arrange things for them, or you're trying to mentor them, or you're trying to nurture them, or you're trying to take them under your wing, or you're trying to give them feedback, or you're adapting your communicational elements to try and hit the core values of the player in what they value in terms of integrity, respect, how you speak to them, the way you communicate with them. So they may struggle to take feedback on board via a Zoom meeting, or via a phone call. So getting to them, you may have to just sit down with them. And as a coach, you really need to get to that point. And there's some jobs where you won't even get anywhere close to that. You know, it's like, right, this is the way we're doing it, and bump, that's it. Bump, that's it. And there wouldn't be an adaptability. It's like, right, you're doing this. Okay, Luke Brennan, we're going to keep an eye on him because he would be second best. Forendorf's contract is expiring. We're releasing Danny Rose, so it'd be good to keep an eye on him. We also have the young lad at Newcastle, Ocean McEntee. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 areas rated in yellow, 22 years of age. No youth caps, rated at 63, be the 5th best. No, not really someone we need. Finishes scouting Fowl, who's currently at West Brom, rated at 71. He would be 3rd best, ahead of Forendorf, who is leaving at the end of the season. So we're going to put him there for Tony Adams to try and get in. So that would be beneficial to us. Now have a quick look at Kian Monks. Again, he'd be 3rd best. If Orendorff leaves, then he becomes 2nd best in the squad, 19 years of age. Breakthrough, never really got going off the floor here. So there's plenty of players which we can look at, plenty of players which Tony Adams can consider, and we can attempt to sign at the end of the season. Then we can make more informed judgments as we get there, especially knowing where we're going to be, whether it's League 1 or League 2. More than likely it's going to be League 2, so we can have these options and young players here as well as free transfers coming in. We certainly don't know what the budget's going to be, especially if we're not in a profit and we're losing money, so the board may take away that £30,000 to inject into the running and operational costs. So, you know, it's good to have these boys on a list for Tony Adams to try and approach and say, look, there's a contract at the end of the season. Are you interested? This is our situation. This is what we can offer you. And then the manager will consider what players we brought in, what other players are available, how we're talent ID and recruiting players, what other players we're scouting, our position for the season in terms of the squad, our squad depth and quality of depth, as I mentioned earlier, and certainly, you know, evaluate whether you're going to be the right signing for us, and whether it's a 1-year contract, we'll bring you in and rotate you in the squad and give you the opportunities. Then it says something that we can definitely look at. If not, then, you know, best of luck. There's, you know, there could be other clubs interested in you, or we may offer you a trial period. So come down for 4 weeks, try it out. If you get offered another contract in that time, fair enough. But there's an opportunity to come down, trial with us, see whether county works for you, see whether you're going to work for us, get to know some of the other boys, and then we can go from there. So that's really cool. So finishing, yep, loads of scout reports coming in all the time. This is obviously all going in into the inbox, but there will be a load of scout reports available. I want as much information available at all times on every player that we're scouting, and every player that's on my shortlist, and have as much detail available. Even if these boys in a year or two have gone to other clubs, we can assess whether they're still on our radar, and if not, then we take them off the radar, but we scouted that player, and we were involved in them at some time or are aware of them. So if they're a good player and they don't come to us and hasn't worked out somewhere else, then perhaps this is something we can look at. So 85 rated Daryl Doyling, better than Telford, better than Forendorf, would be a superb signing. Contract on loan from Chelsea ends in 2023. So I think Wigan are in League 1, so they're in the same league. He's had a superb time at the club at Wigan. So we're certainly going to add him to our shortlist indefinitely. I would like to take him on loan. So there's another player we can consider there. So just going to bounce through. Good. So look, there's players there that we're scouting and we can consider by having Chelsea available. That we can bring players in and hopefully that they do. So come on, Newport County, let's try and get the right players in. Okay, let's move him into our under 23s from the under 18s. Okay, he's from Leeds, so we're going to try not to sign him on the basis that he plays for Leeds United. Not a fan of Leeds United, and if we're looking at the internal politics and interest of football, sometimes you don't sign players from clubs on the basis that they are from that club. If you move club, brilliant, we'll bring you in. Great, so we had two players who played at under 20 and under 21 level. Looks like they both won as well. Lewis Twormley played a full 90, 7.4. Also gained an assist. Otse Teo, average rating of 6.4, but that's why he is playing at under 20 level. The whole reason is to develop. 19 caps. He is playing for Dover in the National League. He could end up being a National League player, and if he ends up coming up in the higher leagues, he could end up being called up to the senior squad. But he's got plenty of opportunity to continue to get in the under 20 setups, under 21s and 23s, staying in around the youth setup, get that experience, become known by the first team, gain that experience back at club football, and then they can have him available as a player then if they ever need someone for the first team or think that he's impressive enough. So, it's a good opportunity for this boy. We're not going to hold him back, as I certainly like to consider the moral interests of players, certainly of the opportunities available for them, our needs, and trying to look at football at the bigger picture and the best prospect for the human underneath the player. Then this is certainly the player we're going to be looking at by supporting in terms of allowing them to progress. Bernardo Rosa. He's valued at £22,000 contract till 2023. 76. We'll put him at the sticks best if playing as an attacking midfield. He can also play left back, right back by the seams of it. Okay, plenty of potential there. Versatility. Never really played in the first team. Only been at West Ham. 22 years of age. No games. No caps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 areas. Only yellow. Can play 4 positions though. Why not? Let's offer him a 1-year contract. If it don't work out, don't work out. We release him. We move on. There's potential there. Unless this boy has actually been given a run of games which he can be judged on, and he's had the opportunity to develop his characteristics, then let's give him the game time. Let's give him opportunities, and then he can further develop his characteristics, and we can assess as to whether he's going to be important enough for us, or whether he can end up going somewhere else. Peter Needs also played in a 3-0 win for the under-18s. 5.6 rating, red card as well. All brought off the bench as well. And then sent off. We have Evan Ovendale, who looked like he was involved in a 3-1 loss and performed very badly. So not great for him. Good that he was under 19s. Opportunity there. He's at St Albans in the National League. So it's good that at the age of 18 he's getting lots of game time. He's going to continue learning and developing. Twormley was involved in a 3-0 win. Average of 6.6. Only 46 minutes for him. But plenty of game time in the youth setup to continue developing. Good that he's going to get in under 21 caps as well. Not really done so well whilst on loan at Boreham Wood, which is very frustrating. Especially wanted to give him more game time or loan him out for that game time. Such a shame, but we can look to bring him back into the squad and rotate him in what we're looking for. Okay, Lee Andrews is back on the bench. Youth player, good. Glad he is on the bench. We're also getting a start out of Matthew Craig, Lewis Collins, and Ryan Vickers around Josh Sheehan. So plenty of game time for them to develop in as well. Really good that we're getting that game time for them. Swindon Town, it'd be good if we could take the 3 points. It seems as though we are going down, and unless we win every one of our games comfortably, which I don't think we're going to, then let's try and get as many points as possible to finish, not in the bottom 2. We'll finish in the bottom 4, but not the bottom 2 of the bottom 4. We want to go down valiantly and say, look, we worked hard and we certainly tried at the end of the season, and we've had some great results. And these players can be proud of the efforts that they put in, and they can remember their time in League One with Newport County and say, look, yeah, I did have a great game there, and I had great periods here, and I had great memories, and we worked hard, and they can hold their heads proud and high, even if they do get relegated. So I think it'd be great for us to try and get some great wins towards the end of the season. And we do play some absolute great football, switching it there, playing out from the back, hitting the channel across, getting a shot off, great run. From the strike there, good assist by Juan. Mcewan has scored. Very positive, especially at home. It'd be great for the home fans to get a win and to spur them on, and certainly for the fans to be behind the players. If we're looking at a win, we've had 5 shots, 5 on target. Really important for us. Only 85% of passes completed, 63% possession. So everything is looking positive and within our favour. So I'm really pleased with that. So it's really good that we can move forward here. Very pleasing, very positive, hoping that we can move forward as well now. Oh, he should have scored there. He was one-on-one. He should have had better composure, taking it around the goalkeeper, got his shot off on time, and then scored, putting it 2-0 in the game. He's going to continue learning from that as he gets the more game time and keeps developing. And as he becomes supported in the analysis, certainly in his decision-making, and then we can go and coach it and nurture him within the training sessions from the analysis and his decisions, where he didn't score, he can learn from, which is really important for us moving forward. Oh, Scott Twine there, who was actually on loan to Newport County this year, was a great goal-scoring player. If we had had him yesterday in the playoff final, he would have made the difference and we would have gone up. I'm certain that we would have finished in a much better position as well if we had kept him right up until the end of the season. So it's good that he didn't score then. 1-2s here, they're building up, they're going to get the shot off. They did get the shot off, it was wide, they were building up. 1-2s, saw a player running in, he decided to take the shot. Okay, we've had recommended Matty Dolan come off, he's on yellow, only average of 6.8. Let's swap him for Demetrio. Okay, defensive midfielder, let's get Josh Sheehan off for Scott Bennett. 6.2, Lewis Collins, not done that well. Let's get the young boy Lee Andrews on and give him a bit of game time and experience here, especially towards the end of the season. And it'd be great for him to get experience in front of the home fans and whilst playing at home on the end of the pitch. Okay, Hatswell's giving a bit of feedback there. We're going to apply the feedback. Oh, that was a good swing off his left foot. Demetrio there. Come on, Newport County. Do not throw this away. Telford off, red card, misses the next game. Very unfortunate for us. Okay, we are missing someone now on that left side. So we're going to drop number 26 in, which is, who's number 26? Ryan Vickers. Then we're going to drop Will Swan in the striker forward position there, where he's going to try and tackle harder, mark tighter, get forward. Okay, what other instructions? Okay, he's going to hold his position. Okay, hold up the ball. Yes, we need him to hold up the ball, especially if we're winning. Okay, take more risks. I'm going to add that. Take more risks. And let's get some more direct passes, especially if he's up front on his own, using a winger. Get the ball to him. Get the ball to him. Let's get the ball high. Use that energy. Come on, ref. We're a minute over. Ref. Good. 3 points in the bag. We can be happy. We can be motivated. Shane back Telford, 5.8. Highly influential player. Sent off. Misses the next game. We don't need him to miss the next game. We need him to be playing. Such a shame that he does. We're fined £2,500. Swan finally scores, which would be good, uplift his confidence. He can be happy in turning it round by getting a goal here as well. We're now away to Peterborough, who are 9th. They actually have been promoted by winning the league this year, so they will be in the championship next year. Very best of luck to them. They played some cracking football this year, so it's really pleasing to see them gain promotion following their win. So we move forward now, 13 days until the next game. which gives us plenty of time to keep training and doing all the operational things behind the scenes if we were acting in a real football club, that is. But even in the terms of football manager, we can look at the player recruitment, looking at the players we've got. Matty Dolan's also been fine, which is such a shame. However, he can improve his behaviour, and as an experienced player, he will. We can't afford to lose someone of his experience. So we're just going to continue moving forward now. Okay, a little bit of lag here. There we go. Kian Monks had 85 minutes playing for his national team in a 0-0 draw. I'm a big fan of his in real life, and I wish him the best of luck at Wrexham. He's currently on international duty as we speak in real life. He actually was released from Newport County first time round, and I decided to bring him back in the game as a big fan of his. Hasn't really done too well this year in League One. Okay, Whitley's creative masterclass. Corey Whitley, big fan of his as well in real life. Just hasn't got off the ground running at Newport County in real life. He's currently out on his 4th loan, on loan at Sutton. So I'll be looking to loan him out again next year, potentially, because he seems to be doing his best when in the national leagues, or sell him and try to make some money in the process. For the players that we do have, Javier Garcia, released by City, we're going to scout him because he was in a real good academy, and we're going to scout all these young players who've been released by the top clubs because they obviously were taken into their youth academy. They've had the time in world-class facilities with excellent coaches, so it'd be good for us to look at these players and whether they can come down to Newport County in our not so world-class facilities, but in a club that's aspiring to develop, and we'll give them support. So I think it's always good to have a look at these players, especially young players, because you never know, they may not have met the needs or have been identified by City of being, right, he's not going to turn out to be a high-class player, but for us, he could end up being a great squad player for what we need. So we're just going to look to move forward now. Plenty of players there. We're just going to try and skip through. I really wanted to get through these games in this final episode. However, as Football Manager does, we've ended up going into a bit of detail, looking at players and evaluating, etc. Aaron Lewis was named in Team of the Week. Clicked on County there rather than Lewis. 24 years of age. He had a great game yesterday. So it's great that he's doing well in Newport County in real life as well. 110 games in the game for him. Experience, his 3rd consistent season at Newport County, so you can be very happy with the move that he has made to Newport County. Plenty of game time, plenty of starts, really increasing his fitness. Very important player. Potential to be called up to Wales if he stays fit in and out of the county squad, and he continues to impress. And could be an option, and if he's given a call up, he can gain that international experience and develop further, so it'd be great for him. International roundup, Zach Orr had 85 minutes there, played 5 times for Nigeria under 20s. Okay, Mickey Demetrio is out injured for 2 to 3 weeks, which is such a shame. Injured after jumping, so misses our next game. Ryan Hillier out for 3 days, no problems, that's fine. He's only come off the bench 16 times, so he's more of a in-depth player for us. We've done quite well bringing a few of the Swansea boys into us, giving them plenty of game time and opportunity, plenty of experience in and around the first team, which they can be happy with. More first team experience than they had at Swansea, and they can remain in the local area, allowing them to remain in the in a range where they can remain around their family, as well as on the radar of the Welsh national side, where they can have opportunity to develop and move on, which is great for us. It's sad that they do, but great for us. So it would mean more money for us. Yeah, we're going to release Michael Tate. We did sign him from Aston Villa. Hopefully he can re-sign for Dover and build up some more game time there. He's 22 years of age with 53 league games behind him, not many. He's played 36 for Dover, so we'll be fairly content with that amount of games that he's having, and that he can make something of his career. Scott Carson is retiring. Juan Estrada, we're going to offer him, well, shall we? We're 2 leagues higher. He's got potential. Yeah, let's offer him a 1-year deal. Okay, playing time, breakthrough. Okay, he wants a 3-year deal. Not happening. That's the one that you're going to have. Yearly wage rise. We're going to remove and exclude. Promotion. Okay, sorry, I've clicked up rather than down. Try and get that down to 20. Get his wage per week down. Let's offer him 475. You can have that after that, and you can have that. Whoops. Loyalty bonus. Okay, can't get rid of that. Unfortunately, we're going to put £1,000. Agent fee. Okay, yeah, that's fine. If we sell you on, you can have a bit of money. That's fine. Bit of moral in there. Being a little bit tight with the money, but that's fine. Okay, wants more money, fair enough. Not going to offer it to you. 20 years of age, again, he's been in the National League. We're just going to offer him another 1-year deal, or maybe 2. Come from Arsenal, there's potential there. Ryan Hillier, enough time remaining, even though the contract's up at the end of the season. He came through the Youth Academy, being rotated this year. Okay, I think I'm going to, just for more depth, we're going to offer him another 1-year contract. Yep, let's offer Callum an extended contract. Courtney Watson, we're going to release. Fortunately, hasn't worked out. Michael Rusts, Romanian. Done quite well at Woking this year, but that is the National League. Different ball game. 20 years of age. Who isn't far from first team. Okay, maybe a 1-year deal. Consider him in the squad next year. Tariq Haynes. Not played for us once this year, been in the reserves. We're going to release him. Some quick decision making here, but I want new players in. Yeah, Hawkins has been a good backup player for us to have. Has experience. So we're going to offer him a new 1-year deal. Kian Monks Brown, unfortunately, not good enough. Going to set release. Scott Bennett, yes. Loyalty bonus is very high. I'll give you 2k, which is a quarter of that. Do not negotiate any higher. Okay, he hasn't. That's fine. Do like Scott Bennett. He is versatile. He is experienced. He is good backup. He is, become a Newport boy. Tristan Abraham says injury concerns. He's 24 years of age. Done very well at National League with Southend. Yeah, we're going to offer him a 1-year contract. Hopefully. Try and give him some more game time. Tile, we're going to release him even though he has significant potential. Ryan Haynes, 27 years of age. On loan to fellow League One club Bolton. Only has 5 assists this year. Okay, let's trigger the contract extension, that's fine. 1-year extension clause. Josh Labs, shall we get rid? Shall we keep? You only played 14 games last year for us. I think, unfortunately, as much as I really do like him, going to release him for a second time. Caleb Richards, 24 years of age, brought him in from Norwich. Done quite well in National League with Morecambe, the team that beat County yesterday in the playoff final 1-0 for a shitty penalty. He hasn't done too badly, he's not great. Fringe player, still could improve. I think we're going to release him. Time for some new blood in, some new decisions. Corey Whitley, I think he's 31 years of age now. He's done quite well at Sutton. Well, I wouldn't say quite well. He's done better than he usually does with Sutton. His best season was with Boreham Wood. It's very difficult because I do like him in real life. Immediately back up in his prime years. I do like him, and I don't think he's been given enough game time in real life or opportunity, so I'm going to release him. Louis, 19 years of age, so we're going to offer him a contract. Okay, so we've made some decisions here to release some players. Scott Carson, I've offered him an under-18s goalkeeping coach. Neil Wainwright, we're going to delay. He's currently studying for his pro. Currently our under-23s coach, so we'll consider him. If we can't get him under-18s coaching, Scott Carson, for his experience and the fact he's been here and knows the club, it'd be great to keep him in. Then certainly we can offer him an under-23s position. Okay, Nathan Broadhead, he would be our second best player in a inverted wing. Potential there, not really much to go off. He's gone out in Spain, he's had 7 under-21 caps. Let's approach to sign him. Important player, squad player. That's more realistic. Negotiate the contract, it's £6,000. Signing on fee 48k. Not a chance, not a chance. Like, I know you might be earning some better money than you would perhaps be earning here. Yeah, he is, obviously. Yeah, well, he is at Everton. No, sorry, he is on loan from a Spanish club. We can't afford your wages, so unfortunately we're going to have to turn you down. Beauty man, he gets signed just on the basis of that name. Some doubts over his ability, 7th best player rated at 30. New, plenty of experience behind him, can play left, can play midfield centre. Not interested, that's fine because he's not going to suit our needs. Another loss this month, which is a shame. He's retiring, he's been linked with moves elsewhere. It would be good for him if he did end up postponing or delaying his retirement and signing for somewhere else and getting plenty of game time, or just enjoying the aspects of his career by moving to another area and earning a bit more money which he can retire on, but he hasn't, so the opportunity's there for him to start his coaching career, remain in Newport and stay with us. Haynes will stay on for another season for the 5 weeks with Josh Ian. That's such a shame for him to miss out on a few games for the end of the season. Let's hope for a quick recovery, then he can get a restful period and hopefully we can return for a solid title run in League 2, which we're going to look to get re-promoted, because it seems as if we're going down. Atmosphere good in the dressing room, the support for the manager is very good, influential players, highly influential, and the team leaders. Okay, he's 20 years of age, defender, centre. Decent young prospect. His contract is expiring. We're going to offer him a new 1-year contract because he does have potential. He is a youth academy player. He hasn't really had that much game time in and around the first team, so we could send him out on loan again, or we might rotate him in and out of the squad to build up his game experience over the season and continue to develop moving forward. So that's going to be really interesting for him. Yes, we've lost Josh Ian, which is a really important player for us, and we could have done without that injury. However, we're going to look to see what we can do moving forward and as to whether we can bring him back into the first team before the season finishes, so we can get some more game time and finish the season off by playing or getting some minutes under the belt. He had a good performance yesterday in the EFL League 2 playoff final. Josh Sheehan, as ever, he is one of our most important players. Just a shame he wasn't creative enough to open up the game, allowing us to get a goal, which was such a shame. However, we would like him to perform to a more consistently and to a higher standard over the season, and certainly open up the game and change it for us for the year ahead, and try and get some more goals, assists and points all round. Yep, just skipping through here, Ruben Caldwell, who is valued at 24.5k, estimated cost between 200 to 500, would be a good signing. Rated at 70, would be our fourth best. He is Welsh, he's got no youth apps. I do lean towards Welsh players as such, because we're a Welsh club. Signing Welsh players who have been released or who have come in from Swansea or Cardiff, for example, is good for us, as it looks better for us to develop those Welsh players. Plenty of game time, plenty of players loaned out this year, so some great relationships. Evans unhappy, he hasn't had the greatest. Slightly unhappy here from Lewis Twamley, only 2 games I would be, but Marco Russ signs a 2-year deal at County. He's had a great season, plenty of potential to develop. Yeah, he's played at the National League. We could loan him out again and see his development. We could loan him out to a higher squad. We may rotate him in and out of the squad. Okay, Callum Brainerton, that down. I would like to keep him as our backup goalkeeper. Doesn't want to enter talks with me right now. Taylor Hart, new 2-year contract for him. He's had a great season, so it's good that he's our first team. Maybe loan him out to a higher league or rotate him. Ryan Hillier, again, another youth academy prospect. He's more depth and rotation, so it's going to be good to keep him, especially as an academy player who came through, and have him as rotation and continue developing. Abrahams has rejected a new deal, which is such a shame. He wants an assurance of more playing time. Okay, we're going to exit talks. I'm going to try and get Tony Adams to try and secure that. Scott Bennett, 3-year deal. He is one of our highest paid players, but he is one of our most experienced and important players, and adds that depth to the squad. He can play in a number of positions: right back, left back, centre mid, CDM. You know, it's good to have someone like Scott Bennett who can come off the bench, start games, cover, have that versatility, have that experience, have that leadership in and around the squad. He was released at the start of this year, then he was re-signed before the season started, so not sure what went on there in terms of that. Scott Carson has signed a new pre-contract under 18s goalkeeping coach. Hopefully we can just take him on without there being any issues. Okay, backroom advice, Continental Pro license for Aaron Pritchard, 31 years of age, under 18 goalkeeping coach. So we're going to see if the board, yes, good. Callum Brain and Tristan and willing to enter discussions. It's great that we can develop another coach, especially our under 18s goalkeeping coach. Hawkins out now for 4 weeks. That's such a shame. 2 injuries now towards the end of the season, so we're going to look to manage and deal with that moving forward. Okay, Joe Woodis signs a new 1-year contract. That's good. So we're in a good position where we're prepared for next season. We're developing coaches. You know, they got a sustainable project here at Newport County. It's good for us to maintain our coaches and certainly look to be investing in them. And you know, if we're relegated, then you know we're in a great position because we have our coaching team in a good place. We have youth products coming through. We have depth. We have players who are being released, an opportunity for players to come in. We've got the core of the squad. If there's players who we can sell, that's not bad for us because that means a bit of money coming into the pot and reinvestment, and perhaps some new faces and energy. So it's going to be really interesting to see what the season can do. Okay, Hawkins has turned down a new deal. That's such a shame. We can try and get Adams. He is wanted. Let's have a quick look. He's wanted by Blackpool and Shrewsbury. That's such a shame. Understandable if he leaves because he gets more game time, gets more experience somewhere else. Maybe stay in the leagues above. Not entirely sure where they are. Alex Dominguez, he is come up again on my radar. He's wanted by 3 teams. It seems as though Leicester have dropped out the running from what I can recall. In that sense, when I last looked at him. Okay, when's his contract up? End of this year. Yeah, he is on our list. Okay, he's unwilling to consider his contract there. Okay, just going to make a quick note of something here. Okay, just making a quick note there while a little thought was in my head while the football is burning as ever in my head. Okay, there is potential here. Bolton are on 44, we're on 41. Couple of key wins would do it. Come on, boys, let's get some energy going. Let's get some self-belief. Let's be organised. Let's really believe in ourselves. We can do this. We certainly can. We're 1 sub short on a bench. Doesn't matter. It means that we can definitely guarantee some game time to the boys on the bench. Let's really hope that we can get a result here. It's not going to be easy. Peterborough have always been a tough team to try and get results against. So we're moving forward here. We're away at Peterborough, and let's try and be positive, take some risks, and certainly try to get some points from now until the end of the season. Josh Labbs starts at centre back. I do really like Josh Labbs in real life. He brings that depth and element. You know, that brave characteristic, that leadership, that streetwise, that I'm not going to take any messing around and I'm going to stand up for my team, and I can make the difference with passing and tackling, and he's one of those players. So I want to consider keeping him on here in the game. Unfortunately, we're now 1-0 down to Peterborough. You know, if Bolton pick up points and we're dropping points, then it's, you know, it's going to come right down to the wire in that sense. We seem to have dropped the position, if I'm right, there, which is such a shame. Come on. So it is going to go right down to the wire, hoping that other teams don't perform around us and maybe things may go our way from now towards the end of the season. Let's hope we can get some points in the bag at least. Yes, good. Lewis Collins there, assisted by Swan. Very happy that he has scored back in the game 1-1. Really important there for him to have scored. We just need us to score again and not to concede. We're back up to 22nd now, which isn't a bad position to be in. I'll be happy with that. Okay, let's not dilly around with the ball around in the midfield third and then dropping into the defensive third. Okay, they've won the ball back, Labs. Let's deal with it. 1-2 with the goalkeeper, then forward. As soon as we're doing that every time, now winning the ball back. Yes, I know he is. Okay, so we agreed that he would start there because we don't really have anyone else to play there. So he's going to have to stay there. Doesn't really matter as much. Bolton 47, they're 5 points ahead of us. We would need the win to turn things around, which is one of the most important things. Come on, half time, come on. We can do this. Come on, Newport County. Really important. Come on. Come on, at least get the point. Come on, Newport County. Come on, Newport County. Come on, Newport County. Come on, at least get the point. At least get the point. Come on, let's add the points up. Come on, at least get the point. Come on, Newport County. Come on, come on, come on. Oh, Swan should have got a shot off earlier. We should have scored. Come on, Newport County. Come on, Newport County. Let's play out from the back. Let's hope we can build forward. No, deal with it. Good. King's got it. We're under a lot of pressure. Oh, Josh Labady's off. That's no good. We need him on. We're a centre back down. Okay, just had to quickly pause the recording there, just to shut the door, that was all. So, Josh Labadie was sent off. We've had to make a couple of changes, moving players around here. Swan was in a good position there. It's unfortunate that he was sent off, as we did need him. It would have been better for him if he had stayed on, knowing his contract is running down. We did need to rely on him. We've had to move Evans into centre back. We then had to move one striker as a lone striker. Norville there, I'm pretty sure he's played for Newport County in real life as well. Didn't quite work out for him. Cross in the box headed. We only had 10 minutes to go, which is such a shame. Come on, Newport County. Come on, Newport County. Come on. I know I don't really use the instructions or mentality, etc. too much. Here we go, we're 3-1 down now, which is such a shame. We're cautious. Let's go with the every time I click on this mentality, it seems to drop off and not do what I want it to do. Okay, see, with every time. Very defensive, again, very defensive. Okay, let's do it. Cancel, actually. Yep, discard changes. Mentality, very defensive. Yeah, good. I'm glad that was disallowed. It's such a shame because we were in this game. Nathan Thompson there, very, very nice guy in real life. Very, very nice guy. Good player as well. Always been a fan of his. Good 3-2. We can be happy with getting a goal back. Unfortunately, it does look like a 3-2 loss. Yes, it is. Got a goal back though without conceding at the back with silly mistakes. We would have got the point there. QPR are in that position. Yet we're going to be fined 2 weeks' wages. That's for the discipline. You could cost us the game now. We were down to 10 men. We're getting overloaded. If you didn't get sent off, that would have kept us in the game. 4 league games left to go. We've now dropped down a position, finding ourselves 5 points behind Bolton. Unless we win the rest of our games and Bolton slip up and the other teams around us don't perform, then it looks as if we're definitely going down, which would be such a shame. However, we're now hosting Crewe at home in 2 days' time, and there are 3 league games to follow there, which is going to be an interesting end to the season, and seeing how the results go and how things turn out for us there. So we're just going to move forward here. Really want to try and get this season done and over, and then we will explore the options in what we're doing in episode 10, which I really hope you guys are interested in and want to watch, and if not, then we will be looking at finishing off the last 2 games or last 3, and then seeing where we start on episode 10 following from there. Very average managerial record in charge. A lot of losses have come from this season alone. There's certainly potential there with goals scored, conceding some less, positive goal difference, being promoted once, still in my first job, have to consider that. I just wish you could just see your clubs which you're at for year by year, a bit like a Wikipedia page. That'd be a little bit more easier for viewing. Yeah, you know, if I go to overview, job history, yeah, been at Newport County since 2020. It'd be nice if you could sort of like have then a breakdown into different categories where you just can see it from like 2020 onward. Newport County, a bit like Wikipedia has. I'm glad that this layout has changed from the way it used to be on the old Football Manager, because it was just, you could just see everything, and then you clicked on teams and yeah, it'd break it down, which was good. And you could have this view as well, I believe. I just, you know, it'd be good if you could have broke it down further into what you wanted. I think I always wanted to break little things down, which I can't recall, but and yeah, one of the features which I think Football Manager should have is being offered interim or caretaker manager positions. So, you know, clubs have sacked their manager, they want to offer you, you know, the last 3 months to take over, which would be good, and potentially, you know, they may keep you on as a manager, or you know, you end up getting another job because of it. But I just think it adds to your experience a little bit more, and it's very real life like. And it would be a great concept and feature of the game, you know. You know, say you've been at Manchester United and you were there like 18 years, and then you know, you moved on to Real Madrid and you were there 4 years, but then got sacked, and then you took over England for like say 5 years, and then your contract finished, or you decided to resign, or England sacked you because you didn't win the World Cup. Then, you know, you could be out of work, and then Manchester United could sack their manager, and they'd be like, right, our very experienced manager who was here for 18 years, went on to Real Madrid, went on to England, is available. Let's bring him in till the end of the season. He knows the club inside out. He can turn things around with his disciplined style. He can create that stability. We can try and find the right man, and potentially could be in the mix for it at the end of the season. And if not, we got a new man and brought a legend back for a bit, who created a bit of stability for us. Or we look to reminisce on his history, try and turn things around this season, and we have a fresh start and a continued legacy by appointing a manager. Which, if you were looking at it, and the game was to continue building on all its features, and you know, the media and the press conferences, and getting all those little concept ideas developed, and you know, you get that new feature in, that'd be really cool to try and move this game forward. This game is massively developed year after year. Owen Dale has scored for Crewe. Such a shame that he has scored and we're 1-0 down. We are seriously lacking in our defence, despite Lewis and Shepherd being young players and you know, being good there. Dimitri and Bennett, the experienced centre backs there. Perhaps tactically we're not set up well at the back. We don't have the right instructions. Perhaps the tactic hasn't worked out for League One. You know, we go back down to League Two. We assess this tactic and see how it works, and then we try to come back up to League One with a complete new tactic and different way of playing. Perhaps I haven't adapted the tactics enough over this year. I haven't taken enough risks. I have changed them once or twice. Found that our results were worse. Liam Shepherd injured. That's not great, especially when we're limited on players. So what we're going to have to do, we're going to have to put Evans as centre back again, move Scott Bennett there. Centre mid then we're struggling for, but let's bring Watson on. You know, he understands the role to some extent, and give him a bit of game time, but he's going to have to be on a sub and adaptable in that sense. Unfortunately 1-0 down, which is such a shame. Oh, 1-1, good. Will Swan assisted by Dom Telford. Come on, Newport County, currently 1-1. Let's try and turn things around. Let's get this belief. Can we get a point? Can we get 3 points? It'd be great to try and finish the season in a real positive position, and try and be proud of ourselves, and try and pick up as many points as we can from now until the end. Nope, don't let him get across. Nope, nope. No, penalty. That was on the outside of the box. Yes, he's missed. That was almost as controversial as the penalty call in the playoff final yesterday. Yep, let's get Kian Monks on. Let's see what he can offer. Cambridge are 3-1 up at Peterborough. That's a shocking result for Peterborough in that sense. Nope, oh, there's some great football there. Switching on the flanks, getting down on the right side, catching the left back out, getting a shot off early, testing the goalkeeper. Okay, let's bring the young boy Lee Andrews on as well. Demetrio's carrying a bit of an injury there. Bit of lag here. Didn't scroll down there. Ryan Hillier. Let's chuck him on. No, we've run out of subs, sorry. Oh, 2-1. 2-1. Who scored? Watson. Good. The sub has come on and scored a very important goal for us. 2-1 up. We can be very, very happy that we're 2-1 up. Oh, that's a great ball there by Crew. Did make the most of it. Some great defending there to push him out and prevent him getting the correct shot off and testing King. Oh, they're breaking away. No. Oh, they would find it in the 89th minute. This is the kind of thing that has cost us. Shitty defending all over. Bad organisation between the units. Preventing us from keeping those clean sheets and goals going in. Thrown away 2 points today. We will be happy with a point in some sense, though. That is a point on the board. And we've taken a point at home. Super sub Watson, who is being released at the end of the season, scored. He's wanted by Northampton, which would be a good little move for him. Wish him best of luck. Playing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 positions, 6 positions, sorry. I knew that was 6, don't know why I said 5. Out for 4 weeks now. Shepherd, Evans, you can tell it's been a long season because these boys are now getting injured and we are getting tired towards the end of the season. It's been a very long, tough season, especially mentally. We've had a number of losses this year which have really cost us, but we scored in the last 3 games though. If we look at the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games, we've scored in 7 out of 8 games, so we can be happy with that. Attacking, we're not doing too badly. Defensive, shocking. Unless we win the last 3 games, we're definitely going down. You know, we got 9 points available, 51. You know, all it takes is Swindon winning 2 games or Swindon winning 1, drawing 1. There's still mathematically an opportunity for us to remain in this league. I don't see it happening, which is such a shame. And we may have to just cut our losses and just, you know, look forward to the season ahead. You know, it's a fresh new season. There's going to be some fresh faces in. You know, it's going to be a fresh new challenge, opportunity to try and win a title and get promoted. You know, players will be frustrated by coming back down. You know, like Mickey Demetrio, you know, frustrated by coming back down. You know, we spent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 seasons down in League 2. League 1 was great to be in, but at the end of the day, he's 33 years of age. He's still in the first team. He's still getting plenty of game time. He could get up to 500 league games. You know, he's still an important player by starting and being rotated. He's still a leader. He's still reliable at times. He adds that depth. And so we can be happy by staying at Newport County and trying to challenge for a title and still getting that game time. Of course, towards the end of his career, he's going to be wanting to play in the higher leagues and just enjoy the end of his career and overall the career he has had. So yeah, you know, players like him be frustrated. But with his experience and being in the game for years and having experienced relegations before, and being a mature player, he can sort of understand and psychologically manage that and understand that he is, you know, relegation is just something that's happened, and it's, you know, it's because of poor results and poor defending, which has let weak goals in, etc. Scott Carson just completed his National A license, which is great. Can we send him on another course, which would be his pro? Whether the board have accepted that? Yes, they have, which is brilliant. Okay, green and green. League 1, Max McMillan, okay, would be good. Currently on loan to MK Dons. Let's add him to the shortlist for a year. Just quickly trying to skip through this. Henry Sam, contract to the end of the year. He is wanted by Ebbsfleet, which I believe are National League. He hasn't had the greatest of seasons, capped at under 23 level. Could we offer him a 1-year deal? Because 1 year means he's got potential to develop. Okay, 2 years isn't too bad. We can loan him out. okay, we're taking the boy on, 17 years of age, 2 years, could loan him out, could evaluate him in the first team. If he isn't no good, we release him, and it hasn't really cost us anything. Okay, good. So we got pro licenses all around the first team, aside from our fitness coach, where in real life fitness coaches could have coaching badges. So I think it's really frustrating that we can't, send Pipe beyond to do his C license, for example. Same for the performance analysts. Sometimes they may not need their coaching badges because they're not actually coaching. Coaching badge is to coach. Analysts, they're not coaching, they're looking at the analysis of games, they're providing data, their insights, how to change things, players, maturation, or and working with sports science as such, so analysing performance. So they could say, right, we brought on this 17-year-old who performed this way in this game, and we've linked up with sports science and they're providing us with this data. We're going to compile an overall talent ID for the player, growth, maturation, working collaboration in that sense at times. But yeah, looking at the coaches itself, we've got all pro licenses all around, which is absolutely awesome. And if to get there in real life, I think if you're supported by clubs, etc., and they're willing to give you time and support, it'd be great to get these licenses. 30 years of age in game time, that's really cool. So the club still know that I'm a young manager. They still know that I'm trying to develop my characteristics and attributes. They know that I'm still understanding the game of football. I've remained loyal to county. It's my third year, so it creates a lot of stability for the club, and especially club that's limited on resources and things like that. So it's great that Newport County would give me the opportunity to stay in charge, and I really hope that I can. And I hope that I can build in a database, or download one where I could accept a women's job in this and then come back to a men's job, and then maybe go back to women's, as Phil Neville's done in real life and as Emma Hayes has done in this game. But it's not showing a Chelsea women's, which is such a frustration. Because that would be cool to manage in the women's league and gain that experience, which would be cool. Definitely something I want to do in real life as well. But yeah, I think that would be absolutely cool. But yeah, 30 years of age, a year remaining on my contract. If County release me at the end of next year, which I hope they don't, then I can be happy with 4 years in Newport County, continued loyalty, and I'm sure there'll be job opportunities that will arise, but I want to wait for the right one. It's going to be really interesting where the series goes. Developing the tactics throughout the game, finding better tactics, using pre-season, but I want a long-term save with Newport County. I want to offer lots of content, and I hope you guys enjoy it. And I think it's going to be really interesting to see how the stream develops, the episode, and the save itself. But yeah, really looking forward to it. I'm going to leave episode 9 where it is at the moment with only 3 games left. Just conscious that it's 10 to 11. Just want to get a little bit of rest in, downtime. Edit this episode, try and get it up and out. And hopefully try and get another one out tomorrow night maybe, or maybe possibly Friday. Which would be very exciting to do. So for now, I'm going to leave it there. If you want to follow me on Twitter, YouTube, or Twitch, it's RedTonto13. As ever, leave feedback, comments, etc. If you want to engage in any kind of discussion, that's cool as well. Anything to do in and around football, anything to do with Foot Manager, anything to do with gaming. If you see anything that the stream could improve on, let me know. I'm always open to ideas and learning and developing this kind of stuff. Still quite young and new into it, so I'm always wanting to gain feedback. And I hope you've enjoyed this episode. And if you want to watch back the other episodes, that's cool as. And I really want to take this series forward and provide you guys with the best. So yeah, Red Tonto 13, and hope to get an episode out in a few days' time. So thank you very much. Take care. Thank you guys. Cheers.